Florida is the second most visited state in America, but most visitors only ever see Orlando or Miami. Before you book anything, here is everything you actually need to know about the whole state. We are covering getting around, the best regions from the Panhandle to the Keys to the Everglades, safety, real costs, the best time to visit, and the mistakes first-timers keep making. From the white sand beaches of the Panhandle to the mangroves of the Everglades and the island chain of the Keys, Florida packs an entire vacation's worth of variety into one state. Save this video before you start booking flights, because we are answering the questions people actually search before planning a Florida trip. Let us start with getting around. Since most visitors only ever experience Orlando or Miami and never realize how much the rest of the state actually offers. Florida has several major international airports: Orlando, Miami, Tampa, and Fort Lauderdale. Pick the one closest to your actual region rather than defaulting to Orlando or Miami. The state has no meaningful passenger rail network outside a handful of routes. A rental car is essential for almost any trip beyond a single theme park resort. Florida is much longer than most visitors expect. Driving from Miami to the Panhandle takes over 8 hours. Treat the state as several distinct regions rather than one compact trip. Interstate 95 runs the length of the East Coast, and Interstate 75 the west and center, both well-maintained but prone to heavy traffic near major cities during rush hour. Rideshare apps work well within cities like Miami, Orlando, and Tampa, but a car is still necessary for reaching beaches, state parks, and anything outside the urban core. SunPass, Florida's electronic toll system, saves real money on the state's many toll roads, worth renting a transponder-equipped car or adding a rental agency's toll package. The Florida Keys are reachable only by one road, the Overseas Highway. A genuinely scenic but slow drive. Budget extra time and never rush it. Amtrak's auto train runs overnight from Virginia to Orlando with your car aboard, a popular option for East Coast visitors who want to avoid the long drive south. And hurricane season evacuation routes are clearly marked statewide. Worth knowing your route in advance if your trip falls between June and November. Jacksonville, in the northeast corner of the state, offers a lesser-used but often cheaper entry point for anyone starting a trip in St. Augustine or the Space Coast. Florida's turnpike system connects the central and southern parts of the state efficiently, though it runs almost entirely on tolls, worth factoring into any road trip budget. Spirit and JetBlue offer especially cheap fares into Fort Lauderdale, worth comparing against Miami if your itinerary is flexible and budget matters. On to the best regions, and this is where most visitors are missing out. Since Florida is so much bigger than Orlando's theme parks or Miami's beaches, the Florida Keys stretch over 100 miles of islands connected by bridges, delivering laid-back island life, world-class diving, and sunset views unlike anywhere else in the state. The Panhandle, often called the Emerald Coast, offers some of the whitest sand and clearest water in the entire country, a completely different Florida from the tropical South. The Everglades cover over 1 million acres of wetlands, home to alligators, manatees, and a genuinely unique ecosystem found nowhere else on the planet. The Space Coast around Cape Canaveral offers rocket launches, pristine beaches, and the Kennedy Space Center, a favorite for families with an interest in space. St. Augustine, the oldest city in the country, delivers colonial history and cobblestone streets on the state's northeast coast, a completely different pace from South Florida. The Gulf Coast around Sarasota and Naples offers upscale beach towns, world-class art museums, and calmer water than the Atlantic side. Tampa and St. Petersburg deliver a genuine city experience with a strong food and art scene, at noticeably lower prices than Miami or Orlando. If this is your first Florida trip beyond the parks, and you only have a few extra days, pairing the Keys with a Miami stopover gives you the best contrast without excessive driving. And North Florida, around Tallahassee and the Panhandle's inland forests, delivers rolling hills and springs that surprise visitors expecting only flat coastline. The Forgotten Coast, along the Panhandle's less developed stretch near Apalachicola, delivers small fishing towns and quiet beaches without the crowds of Destin or Panama City. Amelia Island, near the Georgia border, offers a genuinely different pace. Historic architecture and quiet beaches far removed from the state's busier tourist corridors. Boca Raton and Palm Beach, north of Miami, offer a quieter, upscale alternative for travelers who want beach access without South Beach's nightlife crowd. Now let us talk safety. Florida's major tourist regions are generally very safe, though as with any state, awareness varies by specific neighborhood rather than the state as a whole. Rip currents are the single biggest safety concern on Florida beaches. Always check flag warnings before swimming and never swim against a rip current. Swim parallel to shore instead. Alligators live throughout the state's freshwater areas. Keep a safe distance, never feed them, and keep pets and small children away from the water's edge in the Everglades and elsewhere. Hurricane season runs June through November. Check forecasts before booking a trip in that window. And always know your hotel's evacuation plan if a storm approaches. Sun exposure is a real risk. Even on cloudy days, given Florida's latitude, sunscreen and hydration matter more here than most visitors initially expect. Emergency services are reliable statewide. Dial 911 for police, fire, or medical emergencies. Response times in tourist areas are fast and well-resourced. Tap water is safe to drink throughout the state. One less thing to worry about whether you are in a theme park or a Keys fishing village. Jellyfish and stingrays are an occasional concern in coastal waters. The stingray shuffle, dragging your feet rather than stepping, reduces the risk of an accidental sting. Overall, most visitors encounter nothing worse than a sudden afternoon thunderstorm. Florida's tourist areas are extremely well set up for international and domestic visitors alike. Lightning strikes are unusually common in Florida given its subtropical climate. Get off open beaches and golf courses immediately if you hear thunder. Boat safety matters if you plan any water activity. Always wear a life jacket and check weather conditions before heading out. Conditions can change quickly on open water. Heat exhaustion is a real risk in summer, especially at theme parks. Drink water constantly and take shaded breaks rather than pushing through midday heat. Always check current beach conditions and any wildlife advisories before swimming. Conditions and warnings can change day to day along the coast. Let us get practical about cost. Orlando and Miami run higher than the state average, but the Panhandle and North Florida offer noticeably better value for a similar beach experience. Expect a mid-range hotel in Miami or the Keys to run $200 to $350 a night, while a comparable hotel in the Panhandle often runs $100 to $150. A sit-down dinner for two in Miami commonly runs $70 to $110 before tip, while the same quality meal in the Panhandle or North Florida often costs 30% less. Theme park tickets remain the state's biggest single expense, well over $100 per person per day. Budget separately for parks versus the rest of a statewide trip. A realistic budget for a week combining a beach region with the Keys for two people, including mid-range hotels, a rental car, and meals, lands around $3,000 to $4,500 total. Everglades airboat tours run $60 to $100 per person, a worthwhile splurge for the wildlife viewing alone. Snorkeling and diving trips in the Keys run $50 to $150 depending on the operator and destination. John Pennekamp State Park offers some of the most affordable options. And resort fees, common at Florida hotels, add $25 to $50 a day on top of the advertised room rate. Always check the full quoted total before booking. Toll roads add up on a longer statewide road trip. Budgeting $10 to $20 a day for tolls is realistic if you are covering real distance. Rental car prices in Florida spike significantly around spring break and major holidays. Booking months ahead can save hundreds of dollars compared to a last-minute reservation. State park entry fees run just a few dollars per vehicle, remarkably affordable compared to theme park pricing for a full day of hiking or swimming. Grocery stores and roadside produce stands throughout Central and North Florida offer a cheap way to eat well if you are self-catering part of your trip. So when is the best time to go? Winter, December through April, is peak season across nearly the entire state. Warm, dry, and free of hurricane risk, but also the most crowded and expensive window. Spring, March through May, is spring break season along much of the coast. Worth avoiding that specific window if you are chasing a quieter beach trip. Summer, June through August, brings intense heat and daily afternoon thunderstorms, along with the start of hurricane season, though it is also the low season for hotel prices outside the parks. Fall, September through November, still falls within hurricane season, but offers noticeably lower prices and thinner crowds for visitors willing to accept some storm risk. The Panhandle and North Florida see genuine seasonal temperature swings, unlike South Florida's near constant warmth. Worth checking regional forecasts rather than assuming statewide conditions. If you want the Everglades wildlife at its most visible, aim for the dry season, December through April, when animals concentrate around shrinking water sources. Rocket launches at the Space Coast happen year-round on an irregular schedule, worth checking the launch calendar in advance if that is a priority for your trip. Whatever season you choose, book keys and beachfront hotels well in advance. Demand in the state's most popular coastal areas rarely eases up even outside the busiest months. And pack for sudden afternoon rain regardless of season. Florida's daily thunderstorm pattern is remarkably consistent from late spring through early fall. Christmas and New Year's week brings some of the highest hotel prices of the entire year statewide. Book well ahead or expect to pay a real premium. Manatee season, roughly November through March, draws visitors to spots like Crystal River specifically to swim alongside these gentle giants in warm spring water. Onto the must-sees, starting with Key West, the southernmost point in the continental United States, delivering sunset celebrations at Mallory Square unlike anywhere else in the country. The Everglades Anhinga Trail offers up close alligator and bird sightings from an easy boardwalk, one of the most accessible wildlife experiences in the country. Clearwater Beach and the surrounding Gulf Coast deliver some of the softest white sand in the country, consistently ranked among America's best beaches. St. Augustine's historic district, anchored by the centuries-old Castillo de San Marcos Fort, offers a genuinely different side of Florida history most visitors never see. Bioluminescent kayak tours on the Space Coast. Let paddlers glide through glowing water on dark nights. A genuinely unique Florida experience worth planning around the calendar. Devil's Den and the state's freshwater springs offer crystal-clear swimming in 70-degree water year-round, a favorite escape from the summer heat. And the drive down the overseas highway through the Keys, bridge after bridge over open ocean, is one of the most scenic drives in the entire country. Little Havana in Miami delivers an authentic slice of Cuban culture, food, and music within a compact, walkable neighborhood. Dry Tortugas National Park, accessible only by boat or seaplane from Key West, delivers a remote fort and some of the clearest water in the state. Etiquette Springs offers a classic Florida tubing experience, floating down a crystal-clear spring-fed river through shaded forest. Bahia Honda State Park in the Lower Keys is consistently ranked among the best beaches in the country, with turquoise water rarely found this far north of the Caribbean. A quick word on culture and etiquette. Florida's pace and culture shift noticeably by region. South Florida feels distinctly Latin American influenced, while the Panhandle feels much more deep south. Tipping is expected throughout the state, 15 to 20% at restaurants and bars. Service workers rely on tips as a significant part of their income. Fresh seafood, stone crab, key lime pie, and Cuban sandwiches represent genuinely distinct regional food traditions worth seeking out beyond typical tourist fare. Boating culture runs deep across the state. Many locals genuinely commute by water, worth keeping in mind if you are staying anywhere near a marina or canal. Beach etiquette matters. Respect posted flag warnings. Keep noise reasonable near residential beach areas, and always pack out what you bring in. And a friendly, laid-back attitude is the norm across most of the state outside the busiest tourist strips. Small talk with locals is generally well received. Golf cart culture is real in many Florida communities, from the villages to beach towns worth knowing before you find yourself sharing the road with one. Food truck culture thrives across Florida's coastal towns, often the best and most affordable way to sample regional specialties without committing to a sit-down meal. Sunset watching is a genuine daily ritual in much of the state. Many beach towns gather in public to applaud as the sun goes down, worth joining in. Finally, the mistakes first-timers keep making. Number 1 is never leaving Orlando or Miami at all. Assuming those cities are the whole trip means missing the Keys, the Panhandle, and the Everglades entirely. Number 2 is underestimating driving distances. The state is far longer than most visitors expect. Miami to the Panhandle rivals driving between entirely different states. Number 3 is booking a summer trip without accounting for hurricane season. Always have a flexible cancellation policy on hotels booked June through November. Number 4 is skipping reef-safe sunscreen. Florida's ecosystems are sensitive, and many beach communities now require reef-safe formulas specifically to protect coral and marine life. And number 5 is trying to see too many regions in one trip. Florida is genuinely enormous. Pick 1 or 2 regions rather than attempting a whistle-stop tour of the whole state. Number 6 is ignoring rip current flag warnings. This remains one of the most common and preventable sources of serious beach incidents in the entire state. Number 7 is not booking keys or beachfront lodging far enough in advance. The most popular coastal towns can book out months ahead during peak season. And number 8 is assuming all of Florida is tropical. North Florida and the Panhandle see genuine winter cold snaps that surprise visitors expecting year-round warmth everywhere. Number 9 is underestimating how expensive theme park food and parking can get. Budgeting a flat daily amount ahead of time keeps costs from spiraling. And number 10 is not bringing bug spray for evening activities. Mosquitoes are a genuine part of Florida's ecosystem, especially near the Everglades and other wetland areas. Number 11 is renting a convertible without considering Florida's intense midday sun. A fun idea in theory that can turn into a genuinely uncomfortable afternoon. If you are based in Miami and want a taste of the rest of the state without committing to a full road trip, several destinations work well as day trips or quick overnights. The Everglades is under an hour from downtown Miami, an easy half-day trip for an airboat tour or a walk along the Anhinga Trail. Fort Lauderdale and its canal-filled beaches sit just north of Miami. A quieter, more laid-back alternative worth a day if South Beach feels too crowded. From Orlando, the Space Coast is under an hour east, an easy pairing with a theme park trip if a rocket launch happens to line up with your dates. And from the Panhandle, the Springs of North Florida are a short inland drive, a refreshing freshwater alternative to the coast on a hot afternoon. Sanibel Island, known for its shelling beaches, makes an easy day trip from Fort Myers and the surrounding Gulf Coast region. Weeki Wachee Springs, home to a famous underwater mermaid show, sits within a short drive of Tampa and makes for a genuinely quirky half-day outing. So who is a full Florida trip actually best for? If you want beaches, wildlife, and warm weather in one state, few destinations offer that much variety in a single trip. Families do well pairing a few theme park days with a beach or Keys stretch, breaking up the parks with genuine relaxation time. Divers and snorkelers find some of the best reef access in the continental U.S. in the Florida Keys, a fraction of the travel time to reach compared to the Caribbean. Wildlife lovers get an unmatched ecosystem in the Everglades, alligators, manatees, and hundreds of bird species within an easy drive of Miami. Retirees and slower travelers find the Gulf Coast and Panhandle offer a genuinely relaxed pace at a noticeably lower cost than South Florida. And if you are chasing a state that delivers both theme park thrills and genuine natural beauty in the same trip, Florida's combination of Orlando and the Everglades makes it one of the most complete single-state trips in the country. Beach lovers chasing variety find genuinely different water and sand across the Panhandle, the Atlantic coast, and the Keys, each with its own distinct character. And anglers find some of the best saltwater and freshwater fishing in the country here. From deep-sea charters in the Keys to bass fishing on inland lakes, road trippers who love stopping at small towns along the way will find Florida's back roads genuinely rewarding, especially through the Panhandle and North Florida. That is everything you need to know before visiting Florida in 2026. From the theme parks to everything the rest of the state has to offer. Which region are you most excited to see? The Keys, the Panhandle, or the Everglades? Tell us in the comments below. If this guide helped you plan your trip, please like and subscribe for more honest, in-depth travel guides from our small channel. Thank you for watching, and aloha from Kahana Designs. Until next time, safe travels and sweet dreams.